Well, Geoffrey Berman is the U.S. Attorney for the New York Southern District. That is considered the preeminent U.S. Attorney's office in the nation. You know, Rudy Giuliani once held that job before he was elected mayor of New York in 1993. Well, now the current occupant, Mr. Berman, well, he's pushing back because the administration last night announced he's resigning. And that is now setting up a potential standoff with the Justice Department. Berman says, nope, I'm not leaving. Attorney General William Barr announced that news yesterday, but Berman, who happens to have overseen several probes into allies of the president, including Mr. Giuliani, says I ain't going anywhere until the Senate approves and then gets my successor. So what is all this about? Jehmu Greene joins us, Fox News contributor and founder of Barber's Legacy. Brad Blakeman, former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush. Good to see you both. Brad, let me start with you. You know what critics are saying? The president and Barr are politicizing prosecutions. This is an attempt to derail the investigations that include not just Giuliani, but Trump campaign financing, a reported probe into a super PAC, the Deutsche Bank that did business with the Trump organization. And the administration is trying to move Berman out, give him the hook, so that they can quash those investigations. Do you buy that?
No, I don't. I think this is a political ploy by Democrats. I guess they have a short memory, Democrats, because when Barack Obama was sworn in as president, within months, Eric Holder told the congressional committee he was testifying before that soon there will be a batch, that's his words, of new appointees by the president of new U.S. attorneys. And after that first batch, there'll be a next wave. And you know what the reason he gave? Is because elections have consequences, and they sure do. The president, for a political appointee like a U.S. attorney, can hire or fire for any reason or no reason at all. It happens with Democratic administrations. It happens with Republicans. The president has the right to do it, and he did it. Now, they can argue all they want as to what the intentions were of the president, but that's purely hearsay and speculation. And good luck, because they've done it, the president does it, and he has the right to do it.
Jehmu, what about that argument that it's been done before? I remember President Clinton, 93, Janet Reno, ordered the resignations of all 93 U.S. attorneys across the country.
Well, certainly the president has the right to appoint any U.S. attorney that he wants, but we have to remember that this particular U.S. attorney actually was appointed by Donald Trump. And then it actually had the judicial system put him in there because the Senate didn't confirm him. This is a Trump supporter who, like many before him, has somehow crossed this man whose decision-making is purely on his personal motives. We know that directly from John Bolton, who was in the room. But also, it shouldn't be a surprise that a man whose claim to fame was firing people, we would have so much dysfunction in his White House, in the cabinet. He's got the highest turnover rate. Our country is in crisis, Brad. We need stability. And this attempted Friday night massacre of Trump's
one person,
not the Attorney General of the American people, it's very concerning because it does kind of reek of something sinister, that there are, again, these investigations. The president doesn't want them. He makes decisions only to protect himself, not to protect the American people.
Brad, Jehmu just referenced the Saturday Night Massacre. You know, Elliot Richardson. Wait a minute, Jehmu, it's hard with this, our technical issues. What about that? Is this like a Saturday Night Massacre when Elliot Richardson refused to fire Archibald Cox and resign?
No, and if Mr. Berman doesn't want to go because he wasn't, quote unquote, properly fired, then the president will fire him if that's what he wants. But, you know, the press is reporting that Mr. Berman was offered by the Attorney General the spot of being the top person at the Civil Rights Division, which I see as not a firing at all. That's a promotion. And apparently that wasn't good enough for him either. Jehmu knows quite well that even though you're appointed by the president, there comes a time when you no longer are of useful service. Service to the president is an opportunity, not a career. You have a beginning and you have an end. And turnover is quite healthy. Nobody has a lock on being a U.S. attorney. And the fact that it is a very powerful position makes it even more important that the president has people that he trusts.
We got 20 seconds left, Jehmu.
Service to the American people instead of service to this president. I think that is what we are all looking forward to in 241 days when Vice President Joe Biden is inaugurated. Because when you look at Joe Biden's stability, That's what we need now.